Hello, welcome to a new edition of Arshad Money Means Business. As we always say, business means money. Stability in business means a lot of money, but under circumstances like what the world is passing through, the COVID-19 that is affecting the economies of the world, there is a lot to say. Well, we are just keeping up with the developments, especially worldwide, and of course in Egypt here, what's happening each week. Today, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi had inaugurated the Al Fairuz fish farming farm project in northeastern Port Said city, and a lot more has been happening there. Of course, the President also inaugurated via video conference a number of other projects, including projects for marble and granite production in Ras Sidr and Ain Sukhna, as well as dairy and animal production projects in Nubareya and Fayoum. Presidential spokesperson Ambassador Bassam Radi said that the project in Port Said was founded on 15,000 faddans and is considered the largest of its kind in the Middle East. And he added he talked about another achievement, that it added an achievement to the long list of mega projects inaugurated in the last few years under the leadership of President al-Sisi. Radi added that the mega project contributed with a huge added value in the development of the area of the Suez Canal and the Sinai Peninsula, by establishing new industrial and urban communities. As we're back again, we have our guest who are going to expand on a lot of issues, actually economic issues, especially if we talk about development and of course the foreign direct investments, what's going on in that. This is what we're going to find out from our project, from our guest, Mr. Hani Abou Fatouh, a financial expert. Welcome, sir, with us here.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you. We're going for a short break, after we should be back. Stay tuned to us, don't go away.
السيد الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي رئيس الجمهورية القائد الأعلى للقوات المسلحة.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi inaugurated on Saturday Al Fairuz fish farming project in the northeast Port Said city. Founded on 15,000 fedans, the project is the largest of its kind in the Middle East. Presidential spokesperson Ambassador Bassam Radi said the project aims at reducing the gap between production and consumption, achieving self-sufficiency and limiting fish imports. He added that the project is meant to increase fish exports to Arab and European countries, stressing that it will contribute to securing foreign currency and supporting the national economy. The project is representing a new achievement added to the series of huge developmental accomplishments that Egypt is currently witnessing under the leadership of President El-Sisi. The joint project would contribute greatly to the development of the Suez Canal area and Sinai by establishing new industrial and urban communities, providing 10,000 direct and indirect job opportunities in many professions and specialties in this field. President El-Sisi also inaugurated the project for producing marble and granite in South Sinai's Ras Sidr city and Suez Ain Sukhna city via video conference. Projects for dairy and livestock products in Fayoum and Nubaria were also opened by the head of state. President El-Sisi also underlined the necessity of rallying up all efforts of the state and citizens to change conditions in Egyptian villages for the best. President El-Sisi said the development project of 1,500 villages is just the start as phase 1, adding the project aims at developing all villages in the country. He said there is dire need of rallying up all efforts, including civil society organizations and the government and citizens as well.
Welcome back again to Money Means Business with our guest, Mr. Hani Abou Fatouh, financial expert. Thank you again, sir, for being with us. It's always a pleasure having you.
Pleasure.
Well, one of the well, actually one and more, not more than one in the big list and the long list of mega projects, and this is the fisheries project, the fisheries farm project, and this one is a mega project and one of the biggest in the Middle East. How do you see that?
Well, as you said, it's one of its kind, the largest in the Middle East, and it was founded on 15,000 fidans. I see that this project and other projects which provide food security for the citizens are very important, particularly in these days when the prices of foods and other foodstuff are high. So it's part of the government's agenda is to provide commodities and food at affordable prices.
Yes.
This particular project, the fishing farm, is important because I think it is the second next to Ghalioun fishing farm, which was inaugurated last year in Kafr Sheikh. And I personally noticed that the prices of fish in the local markets are reasonable. We cannot say they are very cheap, but they are affordable, that most households can afford to buy this type of food. I hope that the other fishing farming projects continue in the near future. This is not the only one, it's the second, and there are several in the pipelines.
Definitely. Also the granite projects and all these projects taking place, what about now, say, job opportunities? Do they offer job opportunities in the Egyptian market?
As mentioned in the report, it was reported that this project will create nearly 10,000 jobs, direct and indirect jobs.
Yes.
That is very badly needed, particularly with the repercussions of the coronavirus, which caused the unemployment rate to increase in the last year. Now the unemployment rate is 7.2%, and we need to maintain this level and even make it lower in the present and in the near future. So these projects are much needed, and they provide great jobs for many people.
Yes. Well, as the economies of the world are reeling under the effects of the COVID-19, of course, all economies are suffering from that, and definitely the growth rate of the Egyptian economy could have been better than that, despite the vouching of the monetary institutions that it's doing really well. But now, you know, the foreign direct investment is very important. Before talking about that, the economic reform program, how do you see its effect on the investment climate in Egypt? How is the investment climate and the economic reform program, how is it affecting the investment climate?
The economic program, reform program, which started in year 2016, resulted in a great improvement in the macroeconomic indicators, and the macroeconomic indicators are very important in the decision making for foreign investors. So the reform program, one of the outcome of the reform program is creating a free exchange market, which was a major problem before launching the economic reform program. Now the foreign currency is freely tradable, and the scarcity of foreign currency is something of the past. Also, the economic program, along with other improvements in the investment climate, provided enhanced legal and legislative infrastructure in the country. And since maybe year 2017, more than 300 laws were introduced in the country. For example, the new investment law is a great achievement because it provides incentives for local and foreign investors. So the investment climate is benefiting from the reform program in many ways, and you see that the number of companies last year the new companies established last year was slightly improved as opposed to the year before. This is an indicator that even local investors are benefiting, and the investment appetite is maintained.
Well, how do you see transferring the investment file directly to the Prime Minister, or under his sponsorship, or under his directives? How do you see that?
Well, I think this is a very good move, because the investment file is a collective work of many ministers and ministers. So when this investment file is under the control of the Prime Minister, it can be very well managed because of the close coordination between the different ministers which are involved in facilitating different problems in the investment field, and improving the investment climate. So I think it is one good achievement, and I hope that we see no more bureaucracy, no more blocking of initiatives or investment initiatives in the way.
Well, we talked about the one-stop shop last time, or the one window. Well, this move, as you said, when we say the land, they say, for example, go to this ministry or something else, another ministry. When we talk about investment, investor comes here and he finds some stumbling blocks. But then now, with the transferring the file of investment to the Prime Minister directly, does it really deal with that? And we say, well, that is one stumbling block that is going to be removed?
I believe that the different government agencies, when they are hosted under one roof and under one control, this is a very helpful achievement, and it paves the way for smoothing the problems of investors, whether local or foreign investors.
Well, The foreign direct investment, or FDI, is very important, definitely. How do you see the challenges facing the FDI in Egypt here? What challenges does it face? Do they face it? And what can be done in order to, well, solve the problems that face the foreign direct investment?
Allow me to explain what is the foreign direct investment.
Definitely,
Foreign direct
please.
investment, in very simple words, are the investments made by companies or individuals for acquiring or establishing new business interests in a country. They bring capital, they bring management and technology as well.
Yeah.
So the incentives for foreign the question, maybe the question could be
The incentives put you to
what,
attract.
what does the investor need
Yeah.
in order to inject money?
Definitely.
The investor requires stable legal infrastructures and the stable monetary and economic monetary policies.
Yeah.
They require exchange market that provides the foreign currency flow inward and outward. Investors require proper infrastructure in the country. They require energy sources of affordable sources for energy. All these are incentives for the investors. So the challenge is to provide what the investors expect and aspires before injecting money into the country. So currency, free flow of
Okay.
currency inward and outward. Strong banking system as well. If we don't have a strong banking system, this could be a major disadvantage which discourages foreign investment in Egypt. So we need to tackle, the government need to ensure that all these requirements are available, are in place. In addition to some tax incentives, in addition to encouraging the investors to come to invest to Egypt, avoiding the bureaucracies which were a big hurdle in the past.
Mm-hmm. Well, one question comes, with investment, do we require certain areas in which we need more investment than other areas that we are specifying that, or asking for foreign direct investment in these areas more than others?
Generally speaking, Egypt is a very attractive place for foreign investment. Particularly, Egypt is attractive in the field of oil and gas, telecommunications, tourism, financial services. These areas are very attractive and continue to be attractive for the next 2 or 3 decades. Maybe some areas like the mining is another area which I think Egypt still need to promote to foreign investors.
Okay. Well, you said that, we have to present certain things to be luring foreign direct investment into Egypt, the strong banking system, and so on and so forth. What are we presenting right now after all the reforms taking place and after passing the very hard period of economic and political turmoil at time now, like there is stability, there is security, there is a lot that should be conveyed to the investor in order to know that this is a country in which it's secure.
On top of all, I repeat the words you are saying: security,
Yeah.
political and economical stability and security. These are very critical and crucial to any foreign investor before thinking of injecting money into a country. These elements or factors are thoroughly examined, because there is no, even if you have all other things available, but the country is not stable, is not secure, the laws and regulation changes quite often. This is important.
They wouldn't inject money unless they know that they can
Political
just get,
stability and security,
definitely.
which Egypt has achieved a lot
Yeah.
in the last 6-7 years.
Yeah. So what are we presenting right now? There is infrastructure for that, a lot of work that has been done, to lure, the foreign direct investment. Of course, there are situations like the situation where everybody is in right now, reeling under the effects of the COVID-19, affecting all economies, in different perspectives, of course, and different areas. Some are more affected than others. We are really fighting that and working very hard on improving the economy and not falling under, like other countries, that some countries have declared, they could not, really go on, and they just, succumb to this. But we are really fighting very hard. We're working very hard. Mega projects are being, implemented. And now, what do we need to do more in order to, or how do we convey all the work done in order, since, we are luring, or just attracting investors, but how should we tell them that we've got all that, we've got security, we've got stability?
We continue to showcase that the super infrastructure projects which Egypt has been maintaining, and like the electric train, which the plans for the electric trains, the plans for new roads and bridges, these are strong messages to foreign investors. Despite that the world has stopped or put major projects on hold, Egypt is progressing its infrastructure, which is a one of the major incentives for foreign investors to come. Also, we are providing ongoing enhancement in the legal and legislative infrastructure in the country.
Yeah.
And this is another crucial area for foreign investors and even local investors. So all these things are being dealt with tactfully, and we are doing progress. And this is an ongoing progress. It will not stop.
Definitely. Well, also, one thing, it's like, since we are in Africa and we're back to Africa again, other countries have been really taking advantage of Africa and the wealth of Africa from the different African countries. How can we do that? Well, we're integrating, we are just, how can we, in these hard times, make the best out of it and exchange, help to each other and benefit from each other?
In Africa, Egypt is taking the lead in many areas. Speaking about Africa, Egypt is, as stated in the World Bank report, Egypt is a bright spot for the direct investment in Africa, because Egypt, the FDI rose by 11% in the previous year. We can benefit from the strong relationship with other African countries by integrating the interests and exchanging expertise and using the capabilities of the Egyptian workforce and intellectuals in exchanging expertise and other ideas and thoughts with other African countries.
Definitely. Well, week after week, with their developments, there are changes, there are mega projects that are being inaugurated and so on. Since last time you were here and we talked about different things, how do you see development in our economy from that time, or just like overall, with what the world is passing through again and what Egypt is passing through, like the whole world, but still, we're really fighting hard, struggling and working hard in order to, grow, growth, just get away from the big, let's say, problems that are created, economic, social, and everything created by the situation of the COVID-19, the pandemic.
Egypt, despite everything, despite the repercussions of the pandemic, is still striving to achieve its goals. And the progress in different development area continues without stop, and it's a challenge. We are working in a challenging environment, and the challenges are internal and external. And thank goodness that the outcome of the efforts made by the Egyptian state and by the Egyptian government are materializing. Yet it is not to the maximum extent, but it is something tangible that we see every day.
Definitely. Well, we go for a short break. After which we'll be coming back to continue our talk. Stay tuned to us. Don't go away. We're going for a short break. After which we'll come back. Stay tuned to us. And we're back again to Money Means Business with our guest, Mr. Hani Abu Futuh. And we're talking about macroeconomic indicators and how growth is and all that. But then there is always a glitch here that is destroying all that. Say overpopulation. So let me just ask, development is very important, and we're working hard on development. But then, what are the challenges to development?
Well, I believe maybe the greatest challenge to the development which hampers the progress is the overpopulation. Egypt, the population now is 100 million, more than 100 million, and we increase by nearly 2.5 million every year. Imagine that every year 2.5 million.
That's a mega challenge.
Yeah, they need, after a few years, they will need schooling, they will need education, proper education.
All services.
Food, water, infrastructure, medication. So if it is not controlled, the overpopulation problem, if it is not controlled, it will act as a bomb. It would explode. It will eat up the fruits of the developments. So I think this is a very big challenge, and the government made a progress, of course, because of the increase in population. Rate is 2.5%. It used to be slightly above that, but now it is slightly in the range of 2.5%. In order to the average citizen feels the fruits of the economic reform, we need at least a growth rate 3 times the rate of the population. So we need at least 7.5 or 8%, which currently is not possible at all. Because even China,
Well, under the situation of the COVID-19 pandemic that is affecting all the economies, it's very good that, we are just working that way.
Yeah, the global economic growth for this year is 4%.
Yeah.
On average. So if Egypt is achieving or expected to achieve 2.7% or 2.8%, actually I see it as a great achievement. While every other country, all other countries around the world, maybe they are not achieving that level, and other countries, their economies are contracting and shrinking.
Yeah. Well, if we do like China, then like curtailing, or let's say like putting, it's like after the second child, or no third child and no second child, then then you will have here just a different mentality that will just face you, and they just like ally this with, well, this is religion. For some people it's like they don't want to stop having babies because they think that this is this
Against
is like,
religion.
Yeah. How can you just deal with this mentality of some people who are just especially lower echelons that are creating all the trouble and like the growth in population?
I'm sure that the government has programs.
Well, the president talked about this.
To address
definitely.
this issue, and it is not across the country, but in some governorates, maybe in Upper Egypt.
Yeah.
Okay, this is very clear that an average family would have 3 or more than 3 to 4 children.
Yeah. Or if they don't have the boy, so they just keep like having babies still. They get the boy.
Yeah.
Or they don't have a girl, so they have the boy still. They have the
Even
girl.
that exists in India, by the
Yeah.
way. And India, they have the same cultural issue about having you must have a boy,
Yeah.
a family. Otherwise, you continue breeding, getting babies.
Exactly.
So the government is actually working on that. I'm not very familiar with these programs, but I know that there are some programs to tackle this problem.
Definitely. Well, we talked about also tourism. Now, like still there, like when we just, send photos of the discoveries and more, well, official or not official, people ask, is Egypt open for tourism? Yeah, Egypt is open for tourism, and it's open also when there is, like with the regulations and with the sanitization of hotels, everywhere, of course, taking care of that, and it's open. But then, there, still, those who will come not like normal times. So the tourism is always affected by any kind of circumstances.
Very vulnerable.
Exactly. And the people working
And fragile.
there, very fragile.
Very fragile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If Spain, like was hit very hard by that, and just see what's happening to us, and we have all these treasures, but there are, like some who come, but then not like before. So it's been affected. How? Well, with like with the great expectations that we have with the inauguration of the JAM. Soon, hopefully, we don't know how soon with the COVID-19 danger that is scaring everybody and just affecting everybody and changing, mutating in order to affect greater numbers. But then we do have the discoveries. We have the big JAM, the Grand Egyptian Museum, that is opening.
We have everything to attract tourists from all interests, but the issue, sadly, that several European countries have imposed complete curfew.
Yes.
In Holland, Netherlands, they started yesterday, and in Europe, the other countries, they started complete curfew in order to contain the COVID-19. This will last, nobody knows until when, but there are some expectations. At least you have curfew in Europe for the coming 2 months. By that time, the winter season in Egypt would have gone.
Exactly. So Luxor and Aswan, like the big winter season is just,
The hope is with the advances in the vaccine, Europe could think of getting their citizens the vaccine, and this might help the decision makers in these countries to loosen the controls they imposed because of the COVID-19.
And also, like talking about the different cities, the new cities that are open, developing the North Coast with the different cities that are being, prepared for having like big universities and big businesses and really like extension, all over Egypt, New Minya, New Mansoura, new cities everywhere. How do you see that for the future? And right now, when it's working, when things open up, how would they improve to the growth of our economy and the development that we are just seeking?
The problem is that everybody is used to live in the same place with his children and grandchildren. They don't want to move to other new cities.
Places.
So this
we were so centralized,
localized around
Yes.
the banks of the Nile River.
Yes.
So,
And
we
that
have
was that's it,
That's it.
Yeah.
But nobody has thought of why not moving to New Damietta, what not moving to the other new cities
Yeah.
opened. These cities are smart cities and smart communities. But we need some, I would say,
Change of
awareness.
frame of-
mindset, changing the mindset.
Do you think this can happen? Easily? Like
With
someone
the
like me
with
thinking,
the young
like me-
generation, it can happen, but
Yeah.
anyone over 35, 40,
Okay, so over for us.
you're not concerned.
Well, I'd love to, but I am. Sometimes I think, would I just go like some places? I'd love to live in Sharm el-Sheikh. Like it's just seems wonderful. But then
you need to bring your families, your friends.
Definitely,
because you
that's it.
need to bring your community with you. And this
Yeah.
is we are unlike Europe and many other places where young people, they are very mobile. They
Yes.
can move very easily from one place to another place. We in Egypt here, we are stuck
yeah,
to the land. We are stuck with our families and friends.
true.
So moving from one place to another place, even if it is just 100 kilometers from my home, is a big sacrifice.
Definitely, yeah.
It's like a difficult journey, which
Yeah.
is impossible.
It's like
It's
me
like the
leaving
mission
the-
impossible.
Even living in a quarter, me living somewhere else. No. I'd love this.
Even inside the same city, inside Cairo, okay, people living in, say, Heliopolis, they can't imagine that they would go to 6 October.
No, they do have the
It's like
communities there. That's it. It's like going to
Exactly.
another
and
country.
Maadi and Zamalek and
Yeah.
other, it's the mindset.
Well, I can't really comprehend still for me, I'm living, I'm one, Cairene, so thinking that going to Sheikh Zayed or I don't know where, or the other side, like the new cities, I'm thinking, wow, how can people, we are used to having the grocery shops and everything nearby, but, that is very big there. And those who go there and stay there don't want to live again in the city, back to Cairo again. It's like this, it's so congested. No, we like to just stay there. So it's like the mindset, I think, for us, it's, well, maybe it can happen, but for others, maybe students or, some families, they are
Maybe
careers, but
if we start to address these issues
Yeah.
to the young people, in the elementary school, changing the mindset from in the early stages,
Yeah.
this could happen in very few years.
yeah. And even with universities, since, they have universities there, it happens that if you get a job opportunity somewhere, then you go there. So you're not going out of Egypt, you're going to Alexandria. People used to, some families, and they used to live in Alexandria, so they became Alexandrites, and they're just living there, and they're just offsprings, are living there. So it's like new communities they have, with the universities and schools. Then maybe the transfer of some or university students who can go to universities there will just start their families. They can find a job in these new cities, and then it will be kind of decentralizing Cairo and Alexandria and the other main cities.
Maybe the key word here, you have just said it, the decentralizing.
Yeah.
Decentralization, because everything is located in the central, in the capital.
Yeah.
So if we start decentralizing the services, the government offices, and making everything, most of the services through the internet.
Yeah.
Okay, so nobody would go to the
We'll have
city.
to stay in Cairo or Alexandria.
Okay, I
or-
can stay even in Aswan and get the same service as if I'm living in the capital city. So decentralization is very important.
Actually, whenever I go to a place like Aswan, it's a dream. And then I say, no, I'd like to live here. But then I go back to Cairo, I'm stuck with my work again. And going to Taba, it's wonderful. Going to Sharm, it's beautiful. I would love to live there. But then you go back to your work. But if with the younger people, they just, can find the jobs there and they can just settle. Others, youth, go and settle. They open businesses in these areas. So how do you see the future? Because we have less than 2 minutes.
The future is uncertain.
Well, definitely with not the crystal, we don't have the crystal ball.
Yeah.
So the very near future, well, with the normal expectations, without with the unknown.
I'm full of hope that with the vaccine, things will change rapidly. But until such moment when the first shots of the batch of the vaccine is dispensed to citizens, I keep my finger crossed and pray to God that everything goes well after getting the vaccine.
Well, hopefully. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Hani Mifdah, for being with
Pleasure.
us. It's always a pleasure having you. And I'd like to thank everybody for being there. We'll see you again next week. As for now, God bless Egypt, God bless Egyptians, God bless our army, our police, our white army, our president, and as we always say, we quote from the Holy Quran, "Idkhulu Misr inshallah aminin," enter Egypt, God willing, safe. And from the Holy Bible, Mubarak, Sha'bi Misr, blessed be Egypt, my people. I'm Nermin Nazim signing off. We'll see you again next week. Goodbye for now.